if you have a passion. I had a passion for civic music. I believe in its mission. So it's much easier to go to somebody and say, look, I love it, you should love it, and you should support it.
Recorded at Amplified Studio in downtown Des Moines, Give and Grow is more than a podcast. It's a commitment to our community. Founded by Andy and Sarah Suzanen, alongside the RIA Group, this initiative is dedicated to uplifting the organizations and individuals who work every day to make Central Iowa a better place for all. Welcome to the Give and Grow podcast, where we share the stories of the nonprofits transforming lives in our community. Each organization is featured in 3 episodes, offering a deeper, more personal look at their impact. Through conversations with passionate staff, generous donors, and the very people whose lives have been changed by their work, our hope is simple: to connect, inspire, and strengthen the bonds that make our community thrive.
Established in 1925, Civic Music Association presents jazz and classical music concerts here in Des Moines. Its mission is to engage, enrich, and educate the Central Iowa community through provocative, world-class musical performances by legends and rising stars. Welcome to the Give and Grow DSM podcast. I'm your host, Siobhan Spain, and this is the second of 3 episodes featuring the nonprofit Civic Music Association, or CMA. Today, I have a CMA donor in the studio with me. Besides being an impactful supporter of CMA over the years, Susan Voss has served as Iowa's insurance commissioner, has served as American Enterprise Group's vice president and general counsel, and also its VP of Government Affairs. She is a Fairfield native with degrees from Simpson College and Gonzaga University School of Law. Susan has won awards and recognition for her contributions in her career and volunteer activities. Thank you, Susan, for your commitment to Des Moines.
Thanks.
And for taking time out of your busy schedule to speak with me today.
Sure.
I really appreciate it.
Yep.
So tell me, for someone new to civic music, how do you describe it?
We're a little of this, little of that. We don't have a specific niche, so if all bluegrass is your deal, that's not us. And if all classical, that's not us. We want to expose people to a variety of music genres.
Yeah, when I was talking to Ashley Sidon, she mentioned its beginnings and how looking forward, she's looking forward to integrating a lot of variety of world music and other genres.
I would say we probably haven't had Dolly Parton-esque music yet at Civic Music, but you're right. I mean, originally it started out pretty much classical.
Yeah.
And then I think as audience interests changed and their appetite for different kinds of music, and I think trying to get younger audiences, what could we do? And so it sort of morphed into, we're going to bring in a little more jazz, a little more contemporary. And then it was 3 classical, 3 contemporary. I can't really tell you if that's still the case, but really trying to give a mix so people have a greater sense of all the types of music that's available out there.
Yeah, and Civic Music has such a great history of doing that so well. So tell me how you first got involved with Civic Music.
Well, I had a dear friend who's unfortunately passed away, who knew that I was very much interested in music. I was a singer and I played the piano and all that, and said he was on the board and said, I think you would enjoy it. And I had periodically gone to Civic Music concerts, especially when they were strictly located at the Civic Center.
Oh, right, yeah.
And thought, oh, okay, and I'll come, I'll come to a board meeting. And then I just kind of got hooked and knew people on the board, knew Deborah Peckham, who was the executive director at the time, and just sort of took off.
Excellent.
So there you go.
So tell us about your interest in music, because you and your husband, Carl Voss, host some music. Is that right?
We host house concerts, and we have for the last, before COVID, I think we've had close to 50 house concerts in our home.
So what motivates you to do that?
Well, I grew up in a musical family. I took voice lessons and piano lessons, and have always sung in choirs and in college and law school, and so I sang in a band for a while in Ames, and so music's just part of the gig.
Yeah.
So when Katie Byers started Home Ditty,
right,
which was connecting musicians with people who would share their venues, we just got hooked.
Yeah,
and we've been doing it ever since.
Probably fun to have them front and center and have such a intimate experience.
It's great, and I think those types of musicians really appreciate coming to a venue where people aren't talking, smoking, overserved.
Oh, yeah.
And people will listen to their music and appreciate it.
Yeah, that's great that they can have that experience. So CMA is now celebrating its 100th anniversary season, which is amazing. You had a hand in its successful $2 million capital campaign. I'm wondering what it's like to co-chair a capital campaign, and what are you tasked with for people who don't know what that entails?
Well, it certainly wasn't my first rodeo raising money. I'd done quite a bit for Des Moines Metro Opera, but I knew Deborah Peckham, and she was going to kind of be the catalyst for all of this. I mean, she's the one who really understands how fundraising works. And I worked with Regina Lauritsen, and you target those longtime people. And of course, Deborah, reached out to the founders and their, the families that now are still alive, and we just put a team together. And I guess I've learned not to be afraid to ask people for money. I think many people I can't ask anybody for money. And what's the worst that can happen? They're going to say no and hit the road. Mm-hmm. And that's okay, and you can't take it personally, and I've gotten much better at that.
Yeah, it does take practice, doesn't it?
It does take practice, and especially when you're asking them for large sums of money. And, sometimes those words just don't come out, but it's much easier. And if you have a passion, I had a passion for civic music. Mm-hmm. I believe in its mission. So it's much easier to go to somebody and say, look, I love it, you should love it, and you should support it like I support it.
Yeah, that's great advice. So you've served on many nonprofit boards. Mm-hmm. What aspects of CMA keep you motivated to stay involved and to donate?
Well, every year is different. The musicians are different. You're not going to see the same folks on stage. You're going to see some brand new acts that you've never seen before who then turn around and win Grammys or go on to bigger and better things. So it's a sort of the surprise of what's next. What am I going to hear? How's that going to work? And so that's really fun. And some of them are long-standing musicians, and some are just rising stars, and it's fun to watch them.
Yeah, absolutely. Can you tell us about one recently?
Well, so I think where were we? I think it was, I'm going to bastardize her name. I think it was Solange Knowles, who, I was just talking to somebody about this. She walked down on stage. She never talked at all during the concert, which I thought was really weird because, musicians have a tendency to talk way too much about, this is why I wrote this song, and nobody really gives a rip. Just tick-tock, sing the song.
Yeah.
But she literally came out and just played for 90 minutes and left the stage. But it was fabulous.
Pianist?
And she plays, I think she plays the bass, as I recall. It was many years pre-COVID. And so I immediately had to go and get her music, and then she won a Grammy. Or Claudia Acuna, who's a bossa nova jazz singer. I'd never heard of her, and she came in and sang, and lo and behold, she was on another album I had. And I'd been listening to her music, but I didn't know who she was, and sort of connecting with new people that I had why would I be listening to her? And by hook or by crook, I was.
Yeah, I love that.
So that's kind of the fun things, as opposed to, we're going to have Yo-Yo Ma. Well, I know all about Yo-Yo Ma. I mean, of course, he was fabulous, but
really fun to see.
Yo-Yo Ma.
Right. Yeah, so the variety is really fun.
Yes.
Especially have such close access to them in Des Moines. I mean, it's very easy to get to.
And there's usually a master class or something with young people, and you certainly can go to those for free and watch them interact on a more personal basis with young musicians who are just learning the craft. And that's very fun. some musicians are better than others with that, but I can remember when Cantus came, which is a male vocal group, and just the way they would interact with young people, and so complimentary and trying to lift them up and not be critical, but positive criticism.
In a helpful way.
In a helpful way to say these, that's really great. Have you thought about this? And what those kids walk away with is just phenomenal.
Yeah, that's a big part of the programming as well,
Yes.
is that these visiting artists and local ones too do some educational outreach.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
So I believe the next interview will be with Heather Nail, talking about Civic Music's outreach more and how that works. So that'll be
Great.
fun to look forward to that conversation as well. What is it about music that you like so much? Is it? I mean, for me,
I don't know. I because it's part of my DNA with my family. My mother was a singer and a pianist. My grandmother was a singer and a pianist. My great aunt had a contract with the Metropolitan Opera.
Oh, wow.
And I just there was always music around, always music. And so I just can't imagine. And these crazy times, music soothes the savage beast, as they say.
Yes, I agree. It's so helpful, isn't it?
Right.
I grew up with music as well. My dad was a musician, and he would wake us up with his trumpet. And anytime that we had a conversation, it always reminded him of a song. So he would start singing it.
And that would be my household.
And I liked the variety that he and my mom exposed us
Right.
to. It was really nice.
Right. I think I got an appreciation. I may not I may not buy a lot of country western albums, but I can appreciate the musicianship
Absolutely.
of the musicians. And so I can walk away and say, well, I'm not going to buy a lot of their music, but wow. I mean, I went to a ZZ Top concert once. Okay, not high on my list, but I got a free ticket. Am I going to buy a ZZ Top album? Probably not. But those guys put on an awesome show.
Yes. So that's similar to me, like Susan Tedeschi. I love her so much. She kind of goes into that country frame. My husband went to school with her. We went to see the concert up in Ames, and it blew me away. The level of talent and expertise. They just knew what they were doing.
Yes.
And you can feel it when you are experiencing next level. You
Right.
know?
No, that's
and
true.
I loved every minute of that
Right.
just because they did it so well.
I know.
It's like, dang, that looks fun.
But you're probably not going to see a lot of that, for example, just country west. I have one, this morning, I was going through my CD collection. I have a Garth Brooks CD, but that's only because my husband went to school with Garth Brooks' manager and they're friends.
Okay.
So
yeah.
we have seen Garth Brooks in concert. And he puts on an amazing show.
Yeah. Yeah. It is.
But do I want to sing I Got Friends in Low Places every day? No.
Probably not.
But God love him. He's doing amazing things.
Yeah, I agree. 100%. And seeing live music is so transporting.
Right. And it ain't easy, to get that all together and be in tune and in sync and put on a show and deal with crazy people out in the audience who want to sing the words with you or, shout out, sing Free Bird, I mean.
Do you get that at your house concerts a lot?
Well, we have had a few overserved people, I have to say. You have to be careful about that, but yeah.
Note to self.
Note to self, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So since you've been involved with nonprofits and fundraising, what advice might you have for other nonprofits starting an important fundraising campaign? Any words of wisdom?
I think you have to have a core group that truly believes in the mission and have bought in all the way and have also ponied up. I mean, I hate to say it, but it's hard to go and ask somebody for money if you aren't giving money.
Yes.
And it's so much easier to say, look, I believe in this and I've put my mouth where I put my money where my mouth is. And I think it's also good that if an organization is going to do a capital campaign, that everybody on the board is in on it. They've all given. It doesn't matter that's just so you can say everybody on the board has supported it. And I think that makes a difference. And people who've come to me or to Carl and me and said, we'd like you to give, 100% of the time it's, we're in, we've bought in, here's why we believe in it. And I think that's really important. And those are the organizations that thrive.
Yeah, that they have the buy-in from within.
Right.
So besides that, are there any other things that you've seen as mistakes that people have made in their fundraising campaign?
Well, I'm not a professional fundraiser, so
Sure.
I know there are, but I think you have to have a core group that believe. And I think I learned this sort of by mistake is, if this is just, ballpark, if you think somebody would give 1,000, ask them for 2,500, because what's the worst?
Right.
Well, the best would be they go, oh, okay, we'll give you 2,500. What's the worst? They'll give you 1,000. Mm-hmm. And so I learned that the hard way with some people that I asked for money and they gave what I asked. And then later they'd say, if you'd asked me for more, I'd have given you more.
Oh, yeah, because
well, hey, never too late. We'll take an extra check, but and have a good story. And it doesn't happen overnight. I think people, you have to cultivate people.
That is
especially at the larger
good point.
amounts. It's just not one conversation. It's multiple conversations.
Yeah, it's the long game.
And listening to what they want, not what you want. Mm-hmm. God love Marjorie Spivak, and her mother was a founder of Civic Music. She only loved classical. And so you had to have multiple conversations with her about, why is jazz important?
Gotcha.
And so it's the long game. And Marjorie continued to donate until her last breath, even though she was
didn't align fully.
Didn't align fully with her love. But she, after many conversations, she's like, I get it.
Yeah. That's a really good point. It is. I do think that people like to push the easy button.
Yes.
And that would be great if we could all do that.
Right.
But it does take a lot of time and energy for nonprofits to do successful campaigns.
Yes.
So with the changing landscape, I think part of the conversation we'd like to have here is about, next generation of donors. How do we get them involved? Do you think they're doing a good job? How could we as Des Moines do a better job of getting them into the fold of supporting community nonprofits that they feel passionate about?
I hate this phrase, but that's a very good question.
Yeah.
I don't want to sound like an old fuddy-dud. I'm 70, but I don't think there's as much. If you come from a family that understands fundraising and giving back, it's much easier to move up that. I mean, my parents were very much involved in the community and giving back, and so they would always say, you have to give back, you have to give. I don't know how much of that is going on in the next generation, and I see a lot of inward looking, not outward looking. Mm-hmm. I can sit at home and watch this on television. I can get a nicer car. I can get a second home instead of what can I do in the community.
Yeah.
And if you look at who the major donors are in the Des Moines area, they're not spring chickens.
They're not. And a lot of the second generations are kind of flown the coop for.
That's right. And they're not focused on that. And so it's really, I don't know how you educate them. Well, do you want a Civic Music? Do you want a Des Moines Symphony? Do you want a Des Moines Metro Opera? Do you want a Des Moines Arts Center?
This is how it works.
This is how it works. You're going to have to really get in there. And I mean, I've had many people where I've asked for money say, well, it's a good thing you're asking me because my kids don't care about this. Fill in the blank, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Yeah.
What makes them, tick?
Yeah.
So I very much worry about that because when we see that a lot, you might have one or two major donors, and boy, when they are gone,
it's gone.
How many people
Yeah.
do we have to go out to just reach the amount that one donor gave? And we have some wonderful, wonderful families who have been around for generations, who have been incredibly generous with their time and their talent and their
consistent.
treasure.
Yeah.
And we all go back to them. You go back to the well, and you know, when you call them and go, hey, guess why I'm calling? But I got to believe there's another generation of people out there, younger than myself, who have additional resources that they could be giving. And how do we tap into that or tell them that that's really important? I remember my parents saying to me, we make a living in this community. We need to give back to this community. And I don't know if people feel the same way. And that was a small town. I mean, you know, my dad, I have to buy the car in the town where I live because those people do business with me. We don't buy a car in Des Moines. We buy our car in Fairfield. And
Makes sense.
I don't know if people feel the same way now.
That
about
loyalty as much.
Yeah.
Because it's very global society right now.
Very.
So do you have kids?
I have 2 stepsons.
Do they give back? Are they in
Very
town?
much. Well, I have one son who has his business here, and he and his wife established a fund at the Community Foundation, and then I have another son who lives in the Twin Cities. But yes, they both.
That's excellent.
But they watched all of their parents. I mean, I have step-parents. They watched their mother, their father, you know, all give of their time, talent, and treasure. And
that makes a big difference.
it does.
Is there a formula that you go by, like how much you contribute versus like what you set aside every year?
Well, for so long I worked in state government where you make about $1.95 an hour. You know,
Yes.
it's like huge dollars.
Yep.
And so we didn't have a whole lot. It was like, okay, we're going to give to the church and we're going to give to a couple things. And I was very fortunate that later in my professional life, things really took off. And so if I believe in it, I believe in it. And, you know, I give to my church, I give to my alma maters, I give to a lot of fine arts groups. And I have to say, when I put my taxes together, I'm always a little amazed at how much I've given to nonprofits. But you know what? I feel good about it. I feel great about it. You know what?
You're contributing.
I'm fortunate that I can do it. Not everybody can do that.
Yes.
You know?
Very
and
true.
so if I can do it and still be able to buy a Happy Meal, I say go for it. You know what?
Yeah, the intrinsic value and the feel good.
Yeah. You can't take it with you. And you know what? So what?
Yeah, right.
Right.
Yeah, good words. I appreciate that. So what are you most excited about for CMA and its next 100 years?
Well, I think now that we have this, you know, great campaign and we can have a little cushion, I think the possibilities of new types of, you know, professionals coming. I mean, we can't just be out there blowing it all on one act, but I think the opportunity to reach out to some up-and-comers and some, you know, balance it with, we're going to have some known stars out there. I mean, Yo-Yo Ma, it's hard to top Yo-Yo.
I know. It
in
really
the
is.
scheme of life, you know, and not everybody comes at $1.95, but you know, the thought of, you know, bringing in somebody that's really top-notch, everybody go, woo-hoo.
And to hear them, like the part, I love the idea of hearing them first before they
Right.
go on to
Right.
Grammy fame.
Or partnerships. I think they've talked about, can we partner with the Des Moines Symphony? Can we partner with the Des Moines Metro Opera? What can we do that brings in a collective group of people?
Yeah, the
that-
collaborations
Right.
are always fun to
Right.
see happen.
Right.
Yeah, good.
And those people may have ideas we haven't thought of.
Yeah.
Here's an artist we love to see. We'll partner with you and bring them in. And
Good.
Yeah.
Excellent. That's exciting. So it's nice to have a successful capital campaign, obviously. And I know that was for an endowment. But my guess is there's ongoing funding needs.
Right.
How
right.
can listeners help?
Well, I think you start out by buying a season ticket.
Okay.
And that's a way to get your foot in the door. And once you have a season ticket, you can, you know, you get to all the concerts and any events that we have, whether those are receptions afterwards or the master classes, you can always volunteer to, hand out programs. Somebody has to do that. And then you get to be closer to the experience of it. Yeah. And you don't have to jump in with both feet. I mean, just because you volunteer or buy a ticket doesn't mean you're committed to do everything there is possible. But I think that's a great way to start. Season tickets. And then give a little. Mm-hmm. And if you just give a little every year, it makes a difference.
It does make a difference.
Right.
And performances happen at different locations.
Right. I think, we don't have like a set space like the Des Moines Metro Opera or something like that. But I think, trying to get as many at Cheslow as possible, mm-hmm. unless it's a big name like Yo-Yo Ma, and always on a Friday or Saturday night so people consistently know where they're going.
Yeah.
But if we did a partnership, that would be, and it's somewhere else.
A consideration.
Okay too. Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah. Ashley pointed out that, being able to go to a place that's more appropriate for whoever's coming, the fact that you have a variety of musical acts, that possibility of going different mm-hmm. locations is helpful in some ways. Great. Any final thoughts as we wrap the conversation up?
No, I think that we're in a position of strength. I'm so proud of everybody who contributed and saw the importance. I mean, the oldest, fine arts organization in the city started by 3 women. Mm-hmm. 3 women who, if men had started, we'd still be talking about it, I think. I just think it's amazing that they took a chance, and here we are 100 years later, and we're just as great as we were then.
Isn't that fun to think about, looking back on them 100 years ago, imagining that it's still going strong.
They probably didn't even have checkbooks, I mean, women didn't have squat.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. I made it happen. I made it happen and had incredible artists, and I think the fact that it's still going is a testament to the families and the supporters, and I think we have a great story to tell.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a
My pleasure. Thank you.
And for those that want to learn more, go to civicmusic.org. And to our listeners, thanks for being here. You can listen to all our episodes on your favorite podcast platform or by visiting giveandgrowdsm.com. Thanks.
Thank you.